Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going to be diving deep into, AI voice cloning.
Sounds exciting.
Yeah, you guys shared a ton of interest in this topic, and we found this really cool review video about 11 Labs' new tool.
11 Labs. Okay.
Yeah, it's called Voice Design, and have you ever wanted to like create a custom voice, like for a game or an animation or something like that?
Oh, yeah, totally. That would be so cool.
Well, this deep dive might have all the answers. So.
I'm ready.
Okay, cool. Well, let's get right into it. So 11 Labs, they're kind of already like a huge name in the text-to-speech AI world, right? They're known for generating these super realistic voices.
Yeah, I've heard of them. Their stuff is pretty amazing.
Yeah, so what's really cool about voice design is it's not about cloning an existing voice. It's about making something totally new from scratch.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and the reviewer in this video, he just dives right in and he tries to make all these like crazy voices. So like
Right.
like imagine a creepy disheveled goblin narrating your next D&D campaign.
That's awesome.
Or like a voice that's described as bountiful, expressive, heroic, maybe for your next superhero animation.
Okay, I'm hooked already.
He even tries to get like a classic, deep growl New York accent.
Oh, like a Scorsese movie.
Exactly. And get this, the reviewer, he actually used 11 Labs before, and someone used his voice for a project.
Oh, no way, really? So he heard himself like in an ad or something.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
That's crazy. So you're telling me anyone can just make these
Right.
voices?
Well, yeah, and that's kind of a key point about how AI is developing, right? Like, you don't need a huge fancy studio or tons of technical knowledge
Yeah, that's
to
true.
create these like really cool and unique voices. It's like having your own personal voice actor right there at your fingertips.
That's so cool.
I know, right? But the big question is, how accurate is this thing? Like, can it actually capture the voices we all know and love? Like those really iconic voices?
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. That's the real test.
So the reviewer, he decides to try and recreate Rick from Rick and Morty.
Rick. Oh man, that's a tough one.
Yeah, and then he tries to make SpongeBob SquarePants.
Oh wow. Okay, so like two completely different voices.
I know, right? And these experiments that he does,
Hmm.
they're really interesting because they show us both like the strengths and the weaknesses of AI.
Yeah, like how good it is, but also how it could be better.
Exactly. Because it's easy to get like caught up in the wow factor, but it's
Mhm.
important to understand like where the tech is really good and where it still needs work.
I see. Yeah, that makes sense.
So, how did Rick and SpongeBob turn out?
Well, the results are well, they're kind of funny. Like a mix of impressive and a little bit terrifying.
What do you mean?
So the Rick voice, it's actually surprisingly close.
Oh, wow, okay.
But SpongeBob, let's just say he sounds like he's seen some things.
Oh no, real.
Oh, and there's this whole thing about an accidental devil voice that the reviewer made. He said it was horrifying. Like you have to hear it to believe it.
Oh, okay, now I have to hear this. That sounds wild.
It is. It really is. And
Yeah.
the whole Rick and SpongeBob thing, it makes you think about the data that's used to train AI. Right, like the information it learns from.
Yeah, because Rick, he's got these like super distinct speech patterns and this cynical tone,
Mm.
and there's probably a ton of data of him online, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
But SpongeBob's voice is more like exaggerated and cartoonish, so there's probably less data for the AI to learn from.
Yeah.
And that could be why the AI was able to get Rick pretty close, but SpongeBob, not so much.
Huh. I never thought about it like that.
Yeah, it's a good reminder that the quality of what the AI makes really depends on the quality and the amount of information it learns from.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
So it might not be perfect yet, but it's getting pretty close. But the reviewer, he doesn't stop there. He starts giving voice design all these like really weird and challenging prompts.
Oh, like what?
Like she tries to get it to make a voice that changes pitch in the middle of a sentence.
Okay.
And then he tries to get it to make a voice of a strawberry, convincing a court that it's about to be eaten.
A strawberry? What? That's so random. Why a strawberry?
I know, right? It sounds super silly, but it's actually pretty smart.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah, because these really out there prompts, they actually show us the limits of what the tool can do, and they highlight those areas where the technology needs to improve.
Yeah, it shows what it's capable of, like where it can go.
Right. And it also shows that the user needs to be creative with their prompts to get the results they want. Yeah.
Yeah, like you gotta know how to talk to the AI to get it to do what you want.
Exactly. But there was one thing that the reviewer got a little frustrated with.
Oh, what was that?
Well, apparently if you accidentally hit the escape key it deletes some of the voices.
Oh, no. That would be so annoying, especially if you're like right in the middle of creating something.
I know. And I'm sure 11 Labs will fix that,
Yeah.
as they update the software.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's something to keep in mind, right?
Definitely.
So yeah, so far we've seen that this new AI voice tool is really impressive.
It is.
And it has the potential to change the way we think about creating and using voices.
Yeah, for sure.
But where does it go from here?
That's a great question. I'm curious to see what else the reviewer tried out.
Me too. And that's what we're going to be talking about next. So stay tuned.
It's kind of funny, like even with how advanced AI is getting, there's still those little glitches.
Yeah, it's true.
Makes you realize we're still in the early days, right? Like both for the people using AI and for the tech itself.
For sure. For sure. But let's get back to like the big picture stuff. You're interested in AI, right?
Mm.
So what do you think about the real world implications of this? Like how could voice design actually be used?
Yeah, that's what I'm really curious about.
Well, the reviewer, he tries to make a stereotypical, like overexcited YouTuber voice.
Okay, I can already picture it.
That kind of voice.
Yeah.
Super enthusiastic, a little bit over the top.
Yeah, totally. Like smash that subscribe button and all that.
Exactly. And what's crazy is he actually creates a really good one.
Wow. Seriously.
Yeah, it's seriously impressive. He even shares some of the script that it made, and it's like spot on, Like smash that subscribe button and like
This is gonna blow your socks off.
yeah. It's like the AI completely understands those like YouTuber tropes,
That's kind of scary how good it is.
I know, right? It wasn't just like copying a generic voice. It was like it understood the style, the language, even the pacing.
Yeah, that's wild. So, like, what kind of impact could this have?
Well, think about it. Like any indie game developer, small businesses, even teachers, they could all make their own custom voices now.
Without needing to hire, like, expensive voice actors.
Yeah, exactly. And that could be huge, right?
Yeah.
It could totally change how we think about audio production.
Level the playing field.
Exactly. And the reviewer, he even mentions that 11 Labs is working on an API for voice design. Do you know what an API is?
Not really.
So basically, it's a way for developers to like plug this tech into their own apps and software.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so you could have voice design like built into a video editor or a game engine, anything you can think of.
That's huge. So it wouldn't just be on 11 Labs' website.
Right. It could be everywhere.
Wow. Okay. So 11 Labs is really going all in on this.
Yeah, they are. And the reviewer even says that this is going to change the world forever.
Okay, maybe that's a bit much.
Yeah, it's probably a bit of an exaggeration.
But it's definitely exciting, right? Like the possibilities are endless.
Totally. But with all this excitement, it's important to remember that this is still just a tool. And like any tool, it can be used for good or bad.
Right, like we've all heard those stories about deepfakes and stuff.
Yeah, and as this tech gets easier to use, we really need to be thinking about how to use it responsibly.
Definitely. Like, what are the ethical implications? How do we prevent misuse?
Exactly. It's like we're entering this whole new world where it's getting harder and harder to tell what's real and what's fake.
Yeah, that's a little unsettling.
It is, but that's what we do here on the Deep Dive.
Right.
We want to give you the info you need to understand these big changes and form your own opinions.
For sure. Gotta stay informed.
Exactly. So let's keep going and see what else we can learn about this wild world of AI voice cloning. This is like seriously mind-blowing stuff when you really think about it.
Yeah, it is.
Like this could completely change how we interact with audio.
Yeah, like everything.
Yeah. Podcasts, audiobooks, video games, even virtual assistants.
Yeah.
Imagine having Morgan Freeman read your to-do list.
That'd be pretty awesome.
Right. But it also makes you think, like, what does this mean for actual human creativity?
Yeah, that's a big question.
Like, if AI could make voices that are basically indistinguishable from real people.
What happens to voice actors,
I
singers?
mean, exactly. Will they become obsolete, or is there a way for them to work with AI? And the reviewer actually mentions this, too. He says that 11 Labs teased an AI music generator a while back, but they still haven't released it. Yeah, and it kind of makes you wonder if they're hitting some roadblocks. Like maybe music is just way more complex than speech,
Yeah, maybe there's just something about music that AI can't quite grasp yet.
Right, that human element.
Exactly.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into the world of AI voice cloning, we've got a lot to think about.
We do.
We've seen the potential of voice design, how it can make audio production accessible to everyone.
Democratize it.
Exactly. And how it could totally change entire industries.
But we also have to be aware of the ethical concerns, right?
Right, and what it means for the future of human creativity in a world where AI is becoming more and more powerful.
It's a lot to consider.
It is. But that's the whole point of these deep dives, right? To get you thinking about these big changes and what they mean for all of us.
Absolutely. It's about understanding the tech, but also asking those bigger
The
questions.
why and the what if.
So we hope this has sparked your curiosity and given you some things to ponder. As always, stay informed, keep asking questions, and be part of the conversation about the future of AI. Thanks for joining us.